I'm not going to be overly dramatic or seemingly poetic to try to say that he's a beacon or anything like that, because he'd hate that. But there's a kind of, that when students are going to him or students are leaving him, that they have a certain aesthetic that I think that we're not always sure that students get.
I would like to think that he has become my colleague. I don't think that was the case when I first arrived on campus. I first came here in the mid-90s, and you can imagine arriving on the first day of school amidst a sea of unknown names and faces. Even within a week, I knew who Mr. Stratton was, by legend, I would say.
We have kind of a semicircle with him at the head, and he will have a sheet printed out of his quotes from whatever thing we may be reading, say it's a book, and he'll have little passages, and he will go down the list and he'll read the passages and he'll ask for comments on it.
The way he runs a class, in my opinion, I think is so unique and so sort of awesome, just because when he's talking, everyone sort of just listens.
I think that some teachers work really hard to be prepared for their courses. Dick lives the preparation. And I think that if you're around him, you know that that's the kind of teacher you want to be. Literature to him and writing is very important. He doesn't have to step outside and go home and prepare like a lot of people would, lessons and things. Dick reads books, and he knows the books. Those characters in the books are real to him. And when he talks with students about it, you know that his kids live along with the characters in the book.
I was just able to really fall in love with literature the way that he's kind of fallen in love with it, and the way that you can tell that he's in love with it.
His material, the literature and writing, mean half the world to him, and the students mean the other half. He is a consummate educator.
A school teacher who has made the school the center of his life and has made a real commitment to the school. He is the face you will see at every student performance in the front row to make sure he doesn't miss a thing. And in that sense, I think he raises the bar for faculty members. This is not just a job. This is a community you are joining.
Dick directed plays for a long time, and he acted in plays when he was in college. So drama is part of his classroom. I mean, when he picks up a book, he opens that book. He's not just reading words. He's the voices of the characters. It's funny because as anyone who's been in his class knows, or been next door when his Stratton roving players comes barging in the middle of a class, he likes the big roles.
I mean, they're the annual readings of Casey at the Bat, of The Cremation of Sam McGee, and I think I can hear his booming voice in my head.
So the outlook wasn't brilliant for the Woodville Nine that day. The score stood 2-4, with but one inning more to play. But there is no joy in Woodville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
I think the first one I remember was my first holiday assembly at Nichols, as he was the 5 gold rings. And I don't think it would be the holiday assembly without that.
5 gold rings!
He kind of instilled a confidence in me that I don't think I've ever had, and I think that that's a big thing, because I think that when you're writing, you need to be able to want to express yourself and feel like you can express yourself.
The way I look at literature is actually sort of fundamentally different because of him. The first few years of high school, they teach you about how to sort of really get into the material and really dig deep and figure out the meaning behind things, but it's also about really appreciating the material that you're reading, the literature that you can be exposed to in his class. And I think that was something that he sort of gave to me, is just being able to sit down and read something and appreciate it for what it is and sort of enjoy the literature.
The subject, the verb, the object, the man, Richard Stratton.